Twice to beat sila dito sa kanilang wildcard playoff kontra Purefoods. Kulelat ang hotdog sa eliminations at sa kanilang 5 laro kontra Tigers mula pa noong 2003, minsan lamang nanalo ang Purefoods. Kaya nga papaano kaya nila tatalunin ang COCA-COLA ng 2 beses para umabante sa quarterfinals? Do or die Purefoods kontra twice to beat COCA-COLA. Bilog ang bola, walang yamado, walang dehado. Simula na ng Wild Card Weekend. Stay Slam Bang Saturday po dito sa inyong Grand Matador PBA Fiesta Plus. Come with me.
It was not a very long time ago when the two coaches, Coach Ryan Gregorio and Coach Shot Reyes, shared the honors of being named co-coaches of the year. But for this particular weekend, as we present to you this ball game, these two coaches will share the attention of a lot of the PBA fans. For one thing, they meet again. COCA-COLA laban sa Purefoods. At itong kinaganda ng ating tournament format dahil itong Purefoods, well, they finished the eliminations na nandun sila sa ilalim. Kailangan nilang talunin ng 2 beses ang panig ng COCA-COLA Tigers. So magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat at buwan po rito sa Phil Sports Arena sa Pasig City. Kami po mag-aatid sa inyo ng ball game na ito. Benji Santiago, kasama ko si Coach Norman Black. And Coach, as we take a look at the picture here, we know San Miguel Beer is already in the quarterfinals, and so is Alaska. But we are going to have 2 groups when we start the quarterfinals.
And the group we're really concentrated on right now is probably the group with Purefoods in it. You can see the wild card quarterfinal pictures now on your screen. Actually, Purefoods has a tough matchup with COCA-COLA, the game we're going to see today. Later on, we have Talking Tex against FedEx. Tomorrow, we have Red Bull versus Shell and Santa Lucia versus Ginebra.
And it seems like itong Purefoods, tuwing makakalaban nila, itong panig ng COCA-COLA Tigers, they have a new import. First time they met, nanalo ng Purefoods, Lenny Cook. And then Eddie Elisma, natalo naman sila sa COCA-COLA. Right now in this crucial ball game, they will be parading a record-tying 6th import in this conference. And balik import nyo, si James Head.
Well, you have to give Purefoods a lot of credit for not giving up. They were not happy with their last import. They bring in James Head for this particular game. He played for the Alaska team before, led them to I think a 3rd place finish. Points for James Head, 20.5 points per game. Pretty decent shooting percentage, 9 rebounds a game. Good averages, especially considering he had another teammate that time, Ron Rowley.
COCA-COLA, as they say, may have a twice-to-beat advantage, pero advantage hindi masyado nagkakaroon ng bigat yan. Pagka-basketball ang pinag-uusapan, mas marami pa rin ang naniniwala na bilog ang bola. Sa aming pagbabalik, magsisimula ng ating game.
The half field. Forward number 3, Mark Sanford. At center, number 32, Coach Winio. Their head coach is Mr. Chuck Reyes. Our referees for this game are Franco Ilagan, Wilbert Colanog, Don Kilingen. With alternate...
Ito mga kaibigan, makikita natin dito sa ating starting 5 for both teams. Well, for one thing, ito nga si James Head will be the 6th import para rito sa panig ng Purefoods TJ Hot Dogs. And if you could remember it right, of course, ito si James Head. Naglaro, was paired with Ron Riley. He played for Alaska. Ang nakalaban nila sa championship was Purefoods TJ Hot Dogs, and seems like Coach Ryan Gregorio believes that James Head mas madali nilang makakausap at madaling siguro mag-sync sa system, and they know the kind of game that he plays when he's on the floor. As we start this ball game right now, first quarter of action, and there's a contact away from the ball.
Looks like the foul is going to be on Rob Johnson to begin this game. Going back to James Head for a second, the only problem is Purefoods has to start teaching their plays all over again, their defense all over again. It's like another learning experience every time you change your import. So we'll see what type of adjustments they're going to have to make in this game.
Well, for one thing, James Head is coming off a stint with the USBL. If I'm not mistaken, he was just released June 2, just recently. A miss para sa panig ng COCA-COLA Tigers. COCA-COLA Tigers, they have to take a longer route to get into the quarterfinals. Well, they stumbled in their try for the outright entry where they lost to Alaska just a couple of nights ago.
3 seconds left on shot clock. And right away you can see that the execution is not really flowing for Purefoods on that play.
And a couple of offensive fouls is what we saw here sa pagsisimula nitong Purefoods TJ Hotdogs. Kanina si Rob Johnson, and right now it's Kirby Raimundo with the shot clock winding down.
So dalawang plays and dalawang turnovers para ng Purefoods team.
And that was an easy basket para kay Jeffrey Carriazo. Now, if we could remember it right, Mark Sanford, the question is he still hurting? That game against Alaska, he has to sit down. When he was lifted in the fourth quarter, never went back to the game anymore.
Well, I think Coach Chud Reyes was not really satisfied with his performance in that particular game. That's why he did not get back into the basketball game. But on the other side for Purefoods, Benji, I mean, this is a do-or-die game for them. They lose this basketball game, this will be the 6th straight conference where they've either finished 8th or worse.
That's right.
So they really need a win here tonight.
Live to fight another day. It's most probably the battle cry here. Purefoods TJ Hotdogs. We just saw Jun Limbut, whose numbers are truly picking up in their last 3 games para sa panig ng Hotdogs. Carriazo with a pass to Rudy Hatfield, and Hatfield will score. Taking it a 2-point lead right now for the Tigers. And it's Rob Johnson who's orchestrating the play here para sa Hotdogs.
Well, it did not take Rudy Hatfield long to get his starting job back, did it?
That's right. Here we go with James Head. James Head is up against Rudy Hatfield. James Head. And he gets his first basket of the ball game. If I can remember it, I think James Head was bigger when he was still playing for Alaska. Might have lost a few pounds. But he's still very much active. Alam niyo po mga kaibigan, marami nagsasabi, pagka puro muscle ka na wala ka ng tama. Ganyan yan eh. At pataka sa laro.
A blocking foul dito para Taco Morano. It'll be his first foul.
Morano, for a little while, he was put on the reserve list. Then he got reactivated. Gilbert Lau was now put on the reserve list para sa COCA-COLA Tigers. Rob Johnson losing the leather. And here comes the COCA-COLA Tigers on the attack. Taco Morano and a jam there for Mark Sanford. Playing so, walang problema. Good. Mark Sanford on a slam. I don't even want to be discussing if he's got any injuries or something that's hurting him. No more, huh? No more. Every time I say that, he comes out flying and doing a lot of those tough shots. Samantala, Anthony Rob Johnson was there to not get the basket. Here comes the Tigers once again. It's 6-4 in favor for the Tigers. Sanford, Canino with a jam. Right now trying for the 3-pointer. Could not make it. Here's James Head. He brings down the leather. Let's see the quality of ball game that James Head might be able to give Purefoods TJ Hotdogs. And a foul is going to be called there as Kirby Raimundo was going for the shot. Sanford will pick up his first personal foul.
Oh, definitely Mark Sanford is a shot blocker. Might not get a chance to see that again.
But it's Kirby Raimundo. That's what the two we're seeing right now. And he will be shooting free throws.
On the other side for the Coke team, they just have to win this game tonight and they're moving to the quarterfinals already. It's a very disappointing loss for them just a couple of days ago against Alaska. But they do have a chance to still get outright to the quarterfinals with the win here today.
And in a lot of cases, we have seen a team who has lost in their last outing would really come out strong the next game. Maybe you can see that from the COCA-COLA Tigers, but sure, would be one heck of a game to be up against Purefoods TJ Hotdogs. Rob Johnson with a steal. The pass going to Peter Simon. Did not make a connection that time. And Kirby Raimundo cuts the ball last.
Sayang talaga, diba? It's a 3-on-1 fast break. No conversion on that play for Purefoods.
COCA-COLA by 1, 6-5. Carriazo left open. Bang! He has it down. And wait a minute, referee's whistle. There's still some contact away from the ball. Kirby Raimundo will be called for his second personal foul, and there's going to be a bonus free throw here.
For Jeffrey Carriazo. even though he was not involved in the shot of Jeffrey Cariaso. I think it's one for Sanford. Okay. Should be Jeffrey Cariaso, isn't it? They're telling Mark Sanford to take something off his arm. Okay. So Sanford will take this shot.
It was Jeffrey Cariaso who got the basket, but Kirby Raimundo fouling Mark Sanford. That was away from the action, and Sanford is at the line right now for the bonus free throw.
Actually, Jeffrey Cariaso really needed that shot, as he's really struggled the last couple of games. He's only scored 3 points in the last 2 games.
Sanford could not hit the bonus free throw. Let's see, Jun Limpot.
Yes.
Limpot, 4 points already here in the first period. Still a 1-point game here. The lead being enjoyed by the Tigers. They have this possession with 10 seconds on their shot clock. Cariaso was fouled on the way to the basket. Peter Simon.
Maybe that's just what Jeffrey needs, to see a rookie in front of him to start this game. He's coming out very aggressively offensively. On the other side for June Limport, he's been averaging 22 points a game in his last 3 games. Very productive for the Purefoods team.
They also have one guy who's picking up on his numbers. James Yap is still on the bench. That's a Purefoods.
James Yap actually is averaging double figures now. He's averaging over 10 points a game this conference.
And is shooting 60% from the 3-point area. Cariaso makes it 2 for 2. So now it's a 3-point lead. Para sa panig ng COCA-COLA Tigers. In a steal, almost, by the COCA-COLA Tigers. Peter Simon, nobody home there. Jun Limpot will lay this one in easily.
Good vision there by Simon, giving up that basketball.
The Purefoods defending right now. They're just down by 1. Edward Wendell, also one of the players who struggled in that game against Alaska. Now he's up against Jun Limpot. Technical shot, but Rudy Hatfield, they've been getting a lot of offensive rebounds, especially in their game against Alaska. All happening back the first half. Rudy Hatfield gets a connection right now to make it another 3-point lead para sa COCA-COLA Tigers.
And that's what Coke really misses, the offensive rebounding of Rudy Hatfield. They're dead last or next to last in offensive rebounding so far this conference.
Ball picked up by Rudy Hatfield, lost by Jun Limpot. Apo Morano, where are his teammates? There's Mark Sanford on the attack here, but he will be called for an offensive foul. His second.
Offensive foul on number 3, Mark.
Kirby Raimundo has 2 personal fouls in this ball game, both offensive fouls. It took a lot of gamble. There you can see, ginamitan ng palikat ni Mark Sanford. Ito si Kirby Raimundo. Anyway, we have our first time out of the ball game, called by the Purefoods CJ Hot Dogs. They are down by 3. As of course, kasama rin natin si George Roche in this ball game. She had a chance to talk with James Head. Game, pero somehow they came up short, and COCA-COLA winning that one. At kagaya na binabanggit ko kanina, at the top of the coverage, it seems like Purefoods, every time they play COCA-COLA, they're parading. Kumbaga, iba yung import nila.
Well, in that first game, Lenny Cook actually got hurt.
That's right.
And still Purefoods was able to come back and win that game.
Peter Simon starting this ball game para sa Purefoods DJ Hot Dogs. He's still on the floor right now. James Head puts it up. Wala. Big rebound. Rob Wainwright coming off the bench para kay Coach Chalk Reyes. Wainwright is up against Kirby Raimundo. Rob Wainwright, instant offense.
Another good sign for Coach Chad Reyes. Rob Wainwright getting off immediately, coming off the bench.
Now the locals are picking up on their numbers. Those were what we were not seeing when they played against Alaska, especially in the second half.
Well, we really haven't seen it the entire conference with COCA-COLA. Only one local player averaging in double figures, and that's Jeffrey Cariaso.
And he has found himself struggling in the past couple of games. Jun Limpot is up against Rob Wainwright. The shot clock winding down. It says only 6 seconds. Rob Johnson. From the Rob of Coca-Cola, not to the Rob of Purefoods. Both making a basket here, 14-11 para sa Tigers. Rob Wainwright. Wala this time, his second attempt in the ball game. Peter Simon with the long pass from James Head. Limpot. Leisure shot from the corner won't fall. And you can see the time remaining here. June Limpot was going for the steal that time around, and he will be called for a foul.
Good effort there by June Limpot, but I'm sure Coach Ryan Gregorio would love for him not to commit that foul in the backcourt. So far away from the basket.
It's only the first against June Limpot, pero pangatlong team foul na against Purefoods. Over 5 minutes dito sa ating first quarter. Edward Guinio going 1-on-1. The help defense from James Head, but Edward Guinio was able to score only his first basket in the ball game.
How many pump fakes can you use in one play? Able to get away because of 2 pump fakes.
June Limpot. What actually I have observed here is that when Purefoods is on the defense, I have not seen James Head or anybody getting by his presence inside. We're trying to find out. Rudy Hatfield is the one being guarded by James Head. Going to the big guy in the middle, see Edward Guinio. And June Limpot will pick up his second personal foul. So the 2 big men, Kirby Raimundo and June Limpot, meron na silang tigalawang personal foul para sa Purefoods, and we're just here in the first quarter.
Actually, that's good coaching by Coach Chet Reyes. On one end, they're attacking Rob Wainwright with June Limpot. So on the other end, they're attacking June Limpot. That's right. Trying to get him out of the basketball game using Guinio.
But Jeffrey Carriazo seems to be unstoppable here in the first period. He just scored once again para sa panig ng Coca-Cola to make it a 5-point lead. Look at Rudy Hatfield. The way he's playing. June Limpot, papalitan muna siya rito. Richard G will enter the ball game for the first time.
Rudy Hatfield gives you so much that you just don't see in the stat sheet.
That's right.
Little
one thing.
intangibles, the hustle, defense.
And he's guarding the import of Purefoods. That's James Head.
That's one reason why he's been pretty quiet so far.
Talk about a tough task para kay Rudy Hatfield. So we still have 4 minutes and 11 dito sa ating first quarter of action. Alalanin po natin twice to beat advantage para sa Coca-Cola Tigers. Richard G, instant offense. Etong Purefoods, kailangan talunin nila ng 2 beses itong Coca-Cola Tigers. Edward Guinio natapikan ni Richard G. Rob Johnson, naharap si Atom Morano. Now let's see James Head against Rudy Hatfield. He will be fouled.
Well, the Coca-Cola bench, they're asking for traveling as James Head was able to hold that pivot foot down. The second time he was able to get a slight pump fake in, get his shot off.
Si Edward Guinio natawagan with a foul at James Head. First trip to the line. The first foul called against Edward Guinio.
Galit na si Coach Chet Reyes sa sideline.
Tapos itong si James Head, his stint with the Alaska Aces a couple of years ago, he was averaging 20.5 points, 9.4 rebounds. And from the free throw, he was supposed to be 69% free throw shooter. Carriazo, now to Rob Wainwright. They go once again to Edward Guinio. Guinio challenging the big guys. Napitiwan ang bola. Just a 2-point game. Yes, Coach.
This is the problem with your import getting 2 fouls early, like Stanford has had a habit of doing this conference. You've got to stay on the floor, avoid foul trouble if you're the import, because you give the other team some momentum every time you walk out of the game.
I just saw Rafi Rivas ready to check in. That's that ball situation. Edward Guinio thought about it for a 3. It's Carriazo who will put it up from long distance. Just a long 2 para kay Jeffrey Carriazo.
No problem with Jeffrey shooting here in the Bill Sports Arena.
That's right. Slowly making up. some of his lackluster performance the past couple of games. And he knows how important this could be. Peter Simon with a top shot. He's got 4 in the ball game. Hatfield against James Head. Let's see. So what I'm trying to figure out if James Head could defend. Well, he was part of that defensive job against Edward Wino. So now a chance para sa Purefoods CJ Hotdogs. Tatabla o lalamang. They got 9 sa kanilang shot clock, and Kirby Raimundo against Edward Wino. A little shot there. And with a short jumper, tying the ball game. Pangatlong deadlock natin. This is just the first quarter.
A little shove. That's a pretty heavy shove.
Well, it did get the attention of the referee, so
Got to win you out of the way there.
Wino with the shot from the outside that won't go, and now a chance para sa Purefoods to get the lead. They're getting instructions from Coach Ryan Gregorio. James Head. Simon, well covered by Carriazo. Shot clock is down. 3 seconds. Richard Yee puts it up. Ayaw. And Hatfield comes down with a big rebound. Now, COCA-COLA will need to talk about things here. Yes, this is a full timeout. Kanina they were leading, pero Purefoods CJ Hotdogs fighting hard. Now it's a tied ball game, 20-all. We take a break. COCA-COLA was doing most of the running, then Alaska sort of got contra-tempo. They slowed down the game, and that's after that, COCA-COLA was never able to recover.
Offensive rebound there by Ray Spangeliston. So this is the most I've ever seen Coach Chuck Reyes stand up during a game. At least this conference.
Also last game. I had a chance to cover that on radio. I also made that kind of an observation. He was already standing up. He knows the importance of this ball game. So we see Kirby Raimundo back at the line for a pair of free throws. Now he will have a chance to break the deadlock. Here in the first quarter, we still have 11.3 seconds remaining. Kirby Raimundo playing with 2 personal fouls. James Head needs to sit down. He's there beside Paul Artadi, who still has to see action in this game. And a performance so far in Kirby Raimundo. So make that 5 points already for the one they call the kid. Purefoods with a 2-point lead. COCA-COLA, let's see, Johnny Abarientos. Yeah. He gets the first 3-pointer of the ball game. And COCA-COLA by 1. What a big basket for Johnny Abarientos, his first attempt. Just made his presence felt. And they take a 1-point lead here. Of course, Mark Sanford is sitting on the bench. COCA-COLA Tiger. Some of the performances he's had, not exactly that impressive, but right now he also knows the importance of this ball game. Look at that. He's already in double figures at the end of the first 12 minutes of action. No rest still for Jeffrey Carriazo. And he's still going to be seeing action here in the second quarter. I know this part of some Purefoods CJ Hotdogs. They already have James Yap. And that's what we have made mention. James Yap is also picking up some good numbers the past 3 games with the Purefoods CJ Hotdogs. So it's a 1-point lead para sa COCA-COLA Tigers, courtesy of that 3-pointer coming from this guy who'll be orchestrating the play para sa COCA-COLA Tigers, si Johnny Abarientos. Reynel Ugnata down to Rafi Rivas. Carriazo. The lead in. Seems like everything's falling for him, Coach.
Did he call bank on that, or? Oh, it's good to see Jeffrey come out of his slump. Once again, Sanford sitting on the bench for the COCA-COLA team, and
who's going to match up against Jeffrey Carriazo para sa Purefoods? Ray Evangelista! Oh, it's a 3-pointer. And we know he can hit that.
Definitely here at the start of this game, Purefoods is ready to play. going to give up until they had no more chance, I guess.
Pinapla na naman nila yung score, 25 all. Raynel Hugnatan. Over Jeffrey Carriazo, the guy with a hot hand. He's got 12 points. Let's see, Johnny Abarientos sa rebound. Hindi kumagat. Pero teka, may tulakan dun sa ilalim. And I think this one will go against Richard Yee.
Well, Richard Yee had position on that play, but he's still going to get the foul.
That's his first. Also the first team foul against the Hot Dogs. Ito, tingnan natin itong play na ito after that shot from Johnny. Oh yes, at kinapasan niya ng konti yung kanyang defender that time. Samantala, ito, the dish. They're rotating that ball. Johnny Aparentos, what a pass. If this goes in, it won't. Bob Wainwright, but still, the offensive rebound. Raynel Hugnatan. COCA-COLA Tigers. What effort. Wainwright, this one is short. Another offensive rebound para sa COCA-COLA Tigers.
You have to start wondering where is James Head right now. Got to get on the defensive board.
Seems like he's a non-factor every time they're on defense. Artadi.
We'll have to check to see how long James Head has been here in the country.
But if he was just released June 2 when he played in the USBL,
He hasn't been here very long.
That's right.
He probably was released because he was coming here.
Last Wednesday when I had the chance to talk to Coach Ryan Gregorio, that was still Wednesday, I was asking him, so when's James Head going to be here? He said maybe tomorrow. That was about 2 weeks ago. Jeffrey Carriazo make that 14 for the Jet. He wants to win this ball game. But we're just here in the second quarter. 2-point lead para sa Tigers. James Head. Well, he's concentrating on offense. That's one thing. James Head may 5 puntos na. And let's see if foul is going to be called against. Nope, just a tap out. So they have 11 seconds sa kanilang shot clock. Ang COCA-COLA Tigers, good defensive job on the part of Ray Evangelista. Once again, they go to Jeffrey Carriazo. Now they're double teaming Jeffrey Carriazo. Shot clock is down to 5. Johnny Abarientos.
Good offensive rebound.
Carriazo. So they set up the play once again. And let's see, bola knocked out of bounds, mananatili pa rin para sa panig ng COCA-COLA Tigers.
Not a poor offensive rebound so far in this game. Richard Yee's having a tough time keeping him off the board.
5 seconds, a shot clock on COCA-COLA Tigers. Johnny gets it up, comes up short. Here comes the Purefoods CJ Hot Dogs. Johnny willing to give up that foul. Well, nakatalikod siya sa shot clock. For one thing, he doesn't know. Time is winding down. Coach Short Reyes is complaining about something. Can only shake his head.
I think he was complaining that Johnny might have got clipped on the arm there on that shot. That's why it fell short.
Tabla tayo ngayon, 27-all, James Head. Eto si Paul Artadi. Carriazo got a piece of that leather. Yeah, pulls up, wala. That's just his first attempt dito sa ating ball game. So they go to Raynel Hugnatan. It's Raynel Hugnatan with 4 offensive boards. Let's see what he can do for offense here. Now it's time for him to score.
A very good spin move there. Good secondary move by Hugnatan.
That one-hander, he can do it left and right. So COCA-COLA on top by 2. Johnny Abarientos will pick up another personal foul here. That will be his second.
If you take a good look at the game right now, things are getting a little bit testy here. Particularly between James Head and Hugnatan. That spin move there. Good finish.
Braden Hugnatan showing everybody that he could also play good offense that time. James Head for three. It's a one ball. He's got 8 points in the ball game. But still that question, can he defend? Needed also on defense here by Purefoods. With a dish stolen by James Head. Well, we've seen him defend. And Artadi could not finish the fast break. There's going to be a loose ball foul here against, let's see, Rey Evangelista.
A little bit of intimidation there by Mark Sanford. That's why Artadi missed that shot. That's why they always teach you, try to use that backboard when you go to the basket hard.
This is Paul Artadi. He thought this was easy, huh? Nevertheless, Purefoods on top by 1, 30-29. We expect this kind of a ball game. Actually, mga kaibigan, knowing how crucial this could be. Twice to beat ang COCA-COLA Tigers. Purefoods wanting to live to fight another day. Paul Artadi signals the play. Hand up to James Yap, the unique connection. Yes, it falls, it counts.
The referee points towards Rob Wainwright. I think that was an exceptional shot there by James Yap. Just suspends himself in midair. This guy has a lot of Samboy Lim in him. That shot there.
Hang time move para kay James Yap. Now he's got a three-point play opportunity here. Purefoods up by 3.
The rookies are playing like they're not rookies anymore. I guess it is half the year already they've been in the PBA. James Yap has really picked up his game the last 3 games, averaging over 17 points a game.
Late violation and given another chance for a free throw. James Yap, Rudy Hatfield has been sent back in.
Ata Morano's now going to have to match up with James Yap as Coach Chut Reyes has gone to a small lineup. Actually made Delawang point guards now. Gabrientos and Morano.
They got 2 big guys there. Mark Sanford is back in action, so is Rafi Rivas. Johnny's being guarded by James Yap. 8 seconds, the shot clock. Johnny Abarientos, the dish. Ball deflected, goes out of bounds. Wait a minute, there's a foul. It's only the first na may tatawag against James Yap, pero pang-apat na team foul na yan ng Purefoods. We're here in the second quarter. There you can see the time remaining on your screens. Ato Morano pulls up with it. This one is short.
If you notice, Coca-Cola has been settling for a lot of perimeter shots. They're not getting very much penetration inside that lane. Credit the Purefoods defense for that.
They're having some problems. Who's going to take the shots now? Jeffrey Carriazo is sitting on the bench. It was Jeffrey Carriazo who was taking care of the points. As I told earlier.
That's what I was referring to. You've got to stay out of foul trouble if you're the import.
Number 3, Mark Sanford.
Mark Sanford.
Excuse me. Sometimes you just have to put your hands in your pockets and just, you know, stay on the court.
It says it's all. The facial expression, Coach Chut Reyes. What can I do right now? I sat him on the bench. Now I used him again. Just picked up his 3rd personal foul.
Well, this has been a problem they've been having the entire conference. There's no question Mark Sanford's a quality import. He's averaging a lot of points. He's averaging a lot of rebounds. He also blocks a lot of shots, but has a penchant for just getting into foul trouble. Actually, Jalen Young of Alaska also has that tendency of getting into foul trouble.
So this is the biggest lead para sa Purefoods, mga kaibigan. They're on top by 6. So that pass from Mark Sanford stolen by Paul Artadi. Now they're slowing down the pace. James Head thought about it for a 3-pointer. Draws near, used his left hand. Or rather, Rafi Rivas could not handle the leather. So mananatili pa rin ang possession para sa panig ng Purefoods TJ Hotdogs. Coach Chot Reyes, I've seen enough. I need to talk to my boys right now. Walang kasama natin si George Rocha. Also had a chance to talk to Johnny Abarientos. His thoughts on this ball game, let's try to find out.
Okay mga kaibigan, kasama ko ngayon si Johnny Abarientos ng COCA-COLA Tigers. Johnny, kailangan ko tanungin to. In your last game, medyo parang pinahirapan ka ata ng Alaska Aces. What happened in that game?
Personally, I'm not 100%, no? Hanggang ngayon, medyo binabat pa rin ako nung injury ko. And tinatry ko na makahelp kahit na hindi ako 100%. Sabi naman ni Coach, in and out niya ako. Siguro, kung mananalo kami tonight, hopefully, no? Mapapaghandaan namin ulit sila sa tonight.
Well, this is going to be a big game for you guys. One win na lang para makapasok kayo sa quarterfinals. Ano yung contribution mo in this ball game?
I'm not sure kung gaano kalaking porsyento na may bibigay ko tonight. Pero I try my best to help my teammates. It's always interesting to play in this kind of situation. Knockout, ang sama nung nilalaro namin. So siguro for me as a veteran, I need to step up more para matulungan ko yung teammates ko.
Good luck, Johnny. At yan po, si Johnny Abarientos ng COCA-COLA Tigers.
And from what we have heard from Johnny Abarientos, truly the veterans, their experience will have to count in this type of a situation. Although they have a twice-to-beat advantage, sabi nga natin, ang pinaniniwalaan pa rin ng marami, bilog ang bola, especially Purefoods DJ Hot Dogs. They operating a new import, balik import itong si James Head. Etong pinakamalaking kalamangan ng Purefoods, they're on top by 6. Sa kanila pa ang bola, but they have 8 seconds to score. Scoreless in the last 2 and 30 itong COCA-COLA Tigers. James Yap, good defensive job there. The moment he was sandwiched and he was called for traveling.
Walang lugar, walang space, but he still forced the issue, so he gets the turnover.
That seems like no choice na si Coach Chot Reyes. He has to use and get back in action. Ito si Jeffrey Carriazo. So scoreless for more than 2 minutes at COCA-COLA Tigers. Carriazo with 14 in the first half. The shot clock is right now just 4 seconds. Nawala pa yung bola. Purefoods on the run. Paul Artadi challenging Johnny Abarientos. Goes the other way. The reverse.
You can see for COCA-COLA, they're really struggling with their spacing. Like all 5 players are within 10 feet of one another. It's hard for them to get off a clear shot.
An 8-point lead being erected here by Purefoods. Look at those quick hands. Rudy Hatfield to go the extra mile, but blocked by Richard E. James Head with a lead pass. Ball Artadi will finish this one. Plus a foul against Johnny Abarientos. Everything going their way right now. To consider Alvin Patrimonio, a veteran. He's just on the bench para sa Purefoods. A third against Johnny Abarientos.
This kid is going to be an exciting player for many, many years to come in the PBA. Paul Artadi giving you something that you don't always see, that speed and quickness.
This is also a part of his Waterloo, though, shooting free throws. I was kind of expecting that. I was kind of expecting that.
Let's get him in here and practicing until he gets better. Being a point guard, he's going to get fouled a lot.
So now it's a double-digit lead para sa Purefoods, mga kaibigan. Their backs against the wall. And truly, they could handle the pressure. But this is just the first half. Abarientos against Paul Artadi. Johnny. 8-second shot clock. Guido banging into Ray Evangelista. Blocking foul was called against Ray Evangelista. His second.
They're going to give Ray this foul because he actually started falling before he got hit.
Let's see here.
He didn't take the blow. When you draw a charge, you have to take the blow and then fall. You can't start bending your knees before you actually get hit.
Not get too much training in acting at the show.
Drawing charges, that's what it takes. You have to be a good actor.
39-32. Three-point play completed by the COCA-COLA Tigers. Artadi still directing operations here. Para sa panig ng Purefoods, doing a great job so far. James Yap pulls up. Yes! James Yap has got 5 points right now.
Coming off the bench for Purefoods. That time he was a little bit like Alan Kayadick with the right hand, kicking out his foot when he took that shot. Alan Kayadick was always that leg out to take that three-pointer.
That's why a lot of people are saying that's the second coming of Alan Kayadick here in the PBA. This guy holding the ball. James Yap. This is Paul Artadi. Teammates in college for the UE Warriors. This shot won't go, but a second chance still foiled there. And let's see, Rudy Hatfield, the quick pass inside Reynel Hugata. I don't think Reynel Hugata was expecting that pass. This is a 41-32 lead para sa panig ng Purefoods TJ Hot Dogs. And Coach Ryan Gregorio just want to correct some of the small things that he does not like to see from his boys. So he calls a 30-second timeout.
Well, he wants to remind them of the good things that he sees right now as they've gone up by 9 points in this game. Let's make sure we keep executing offensively and defensively.
Well, Coach Ryan Gregorio actually was talking to his boys, and his players told him that it seems like they did not really want to play well with Joe Salto, their last import. They were not responding well. They have to get James Head. They were actually opting for John Best. But I think he's got a playing stint in Italy somewhere.
John Best is still playing, huh?
Yes.
I was about 35 years old.
They just needed an import na nakapaglaro na dito. All right, so second quarter field goals. Purefoods 7 of 12. COCA-COLA Tigers 4 of 12. So the same number of attempts, but Purefoods getting the better of it. In the meantime, a steal here para kay Leo Avenido. Fresh legs on the floor para kay Coach Jock Reyes. Edward Rino against Kirby Raimundo. Nice spin! What a shot there para kay Edward Rino. Now James Head is getting those rebounds. Artadi to Ray Evangelista.
You're correct, 8 rebounds with James Head in this game. Fast break for the Purefoods team.
3 minutes remaining dito sa ating first half, mga kaibigan. What a second quarter. This is turned out to be para sa TJ Hot Dogs, and Jeffrey Carriazo now having a tough time getting near the basket. But he's fouled.
Suicidal drive there by Jeffrey Carriazo, hitting the floor afterwards.
Yap will be called for his second personal. Purefoods already in the penalty. That means Jeffrey Carriazo will be shooting free throws. But Coach Ryan Gregorio now calls a timeout. They're still on top of this ball game. This is an 11-point lead para sa Purefoods.
PBA at ayan po ang Purefoods TJ Hot Dogs ending this first half with an 11-point lead. Tulungan talaga ang ball game nila. It was their teamwork that got them going in the second half, second quarter rather. At kaya naman ang halftime score ho natin ay 47-36 lamang ang Purefoods TJ Hot Dogs. At recently nagkaroon ng seminar ang B-Cap. Panoorin natin kung ano nangyari sa third day na yun.
Making a lot of noise, but he just gets the job done.
Well, he's not a shot blocker defensively, but he does rebound the basketball well defensively, and of course, you can't complete your defense until you can get the defensive rebound.
So yan, makikita natin, ito naman sa ating mga leading scores. Ito si James Head, he's got 8 points. Call it total team effort on the part of Purefoods TJ Hot Dogs. Ray Evangelista coming off the bench with 7. Kirby Raimundo started this ball game, he's got 7. On the other hand, this is also turning out to be another one-man show. It's Jeffrey Carriazo for the COCA-COLA Tigers, Coach.
Well, the only good thing going for Coke right now is the fact that I'm sure Coach Chud Reyes is saying we played terrible, we're only down by 11 points. My import is one of the highest scoring imports in the PBA. If his averages even out, then he should have a great second half, and we should go on to win this basketball game. Of course, that's wishful thinking coming from Coach Chud Reyes. On the other side, Coach Ryan Gregorio saying one more half, just like we played the first half, and we can get a victory here in this game.
Especially the way they played in the second quarter. There was even a shot down in points for the COCA-COLA Tigers for more than 2 minutes. In the meantime, let's get things going para sa ating third quarter, mga kaibigan. How important this ball game is para sa panig ng Purefoods CJ Hot Dogs. For the COCA-COLA Tigers, we did not expect them to be down this way. And Mark Sanford, point-blank range, missing the entire rim completely. Just hitting the board. 47-36, now a chance para sa panig ng Purefoods CJ Hot Dogs here. Rob Johnson, he started this ball game for the Hot Dogs. It's up against Jeffrey Carriazo. Shot clock, 1 second para sa Purefoods. Matagal yung bola dito kay Rob Johnson.
And that's going to be the way that Coca-Cola will get back into this game. They have to play good defense. And that last play for Sanford, he just put the wrong spin on the basketball. So I didn't even hit the rim.
Mark Sanford not exactly getting the kind of minutes that he used to play para sa COCA-COLA Tigers. And he can turn out still to be the big difference here. Defensive rebound para sa COCA-COLA Tigers. Sanford challenging Kirby Raimundo. And Kirby will pick up his third personal foul.
Sanford deciding to use the other side of the basket to protect his shot. Sanford's been struggling in this game, but I think it's mainly because of the foul trouble. He picked up 2 personal fouls very early in the game. That will really throw you out of sync because you can't play defensively because you have 2 early fouls, and offensively you can't be as aggressive because you're afraid of getting the third on an offensive foul.
Even started off this ball game with a dunk. Consider Mark Sanford. 47-38, Mark Sanford just sliced down a piece of that big lead dito panig ng Purefoods TJ Hot Dogs. 47-38 tayo ngayon. Nabasa siya. Rob Johnson is up against Johnny Abarientos. It's actually the starters si Coach Ryan Gregorio in this ball game. And shot clock once again winding down. James Head knocks it down. And for James Head, he's got 10 points.
He shot a pretty good percentage so far in this game. He hasn't taken very many shots.
So it's already a double-double performance para kay James Head. Mark Sanford could not hit that one. Purefoods. They're slowing down the pace, just like what Alaska did when they beat COCA-COLA last Wednesday. That shot clock's winding down once again. Kirby Raimundo nawala sa kanya yung bola at the end line.
That pass was just a little bit too low. Went straight to the feet of Kirby Raimundo.
Magkakataon para sa panig ng COCA-COLA Tigers. Rudy Hatfield. Not too much shots taken by Rudy Hatfield in this ball game, but underneath, it's Mark Sanford.
This is the thing that Coach Ryan Gregorio has to fear here in the second half. Sanford will probably definitely try to go for his numbers. The big question is, can he stay out of foul trouble?
Only had 2 points in the first half, so Mark Sanford. Right now he's got a total of 6. No-look pass by James Head. Read very well by Johnny Abarientos. Abarientos, nobody on him. Goes straight to the basket and a sorry miss for Johnny. Whoa, heartbreaker. So that 9-point lead stays para sa Purefoods. Ito ngayon si Jun Lipon. Passing out to James Head with a 3-pointer. It's short. The Tigers, they go to Mark Sanford. Yeah, he jams it again.
James Head just stepped right out of the way.
He wants to get things going for his teammates, also for himself. Goes for the slam dunk. Coach Ryan Gregorio, that lead has been cut down to 7. Trouble, especially if Mark Sanford starts playing this way once again. He wants to bring his team back into this ball game. From a high of 11, it's now down to 7 right now. And it deserves another look. Samantala mga kaibigan, umpisa sa Lunes, mapapanood nyo na ang dalawang sinusubaybayang reality show sa bago nitong mga time slots Ang Buhay Beauty Queen mas pinaaga, alas 6:30 na ng gabi. Sa alas 9:30 ng gabi, abangan naman ang performances ng paborito ninyong mga idols sa American Idol Specials. Alright, dito po yan ang ABC. Iba tayo. 8 minutes and 46 sa ating third quarter. Mark Sanford. Well, that kind of a shot most probably could get things going for him. Adrenaline.
From what I just observed, you can see why Coca-Cola has probably been the most successful team the last year and a half. During that timeout, all of the Coca-Cola players went to Johnny Abrientos and really patted him on the back and told him, don't worry about it. You know, he missed a wide open layup there. And shows good teamwork coming from the Tigers.
Nope. One shot at a time. Para sa Purefoods DJ Hot Dogs. Barriato, top scorer for his team back in the first half. Goes to Johnny Abrientos. Yes!
That's the result there. Your teammates stay behind you, keeps your confidence up, he comes right back and hits a three.
We'll keep on supporting you. And Johnny Abrientos knows exactly the meaning of that message. Just hit a three-pointer to bring this close. 4-point game. Look at Johnny stealing that ball away from Rob Wainwright, or rather from Rob Johnson.
And I hate to, really keep talking about it, but if his teammates had gotten down on him for missing that layup, his confidence probably would have gone down also.
So he played a good offense earlier, and right now he's playing good defense. Look at this, Johnny Abrientos going for that still. 9-2 run for the Coca-Cola Tigers here in the third period. We still have 7 minutes and 57. And the tap won by James Head. Peter Simon. He's got a height advantage over Johnny Abrientos. He will drive. He will put up a shot. And he will score. For Peter Simon, that's 6 points for him. And a 6-point lead for Purefoods. Jeffrey Carriazo on the runner, off balance. Still getting the basket.
Well, if he has any critics, he's definitely answering them tonight. He continues to wreak havoc on the defense with Purefoods.
Look at this, Peter Simon ringing the bell from the baseline.
And taking a seat because James Yap just checked in for him.
Over at the other end, Jeffrey Carriazo doing almost everything for his team. And he completes a three-point play. Carriazo has 19. So 51-48. 3-point lead na lamang ito para sa Purefoods DJ Hot Dogs. Shoot and put. Hindi na pumapasok. A steal! Not completed though by Paul Artadi. But he was there right in the middle of that play. So 7 minutes and 19 remaining dito sa ating third quarter. Let's see Mark Sanford's performance now. His shots are going in. He's already in the pass. Well, it backfired. At ang matatawagan pa ng foul ito si Rafi Rivas, although that's just his first personal.
Well, he had the right idea. He probably would have been better off bouncing it or just scooping it over to Rafi Rivas.
Paul Artadi, look at this guy go. Now, where's the ball? Nawala rin. Cross-court, Carriazo inside Rudy Hatfield, challenging Richard Yee, and he gets the basket.
You see Rudy Hatfield very tentative around the basket, does not have that explosiveness that he normally has.
He's got 6 points. Oh, exactly too many points para kay Rudy Hatfield, pero that time, that contact just resulted in the 4th personal foul against Mark Sanford.
So my question would be, why would you even go for that type of play? He's been in foul trouble the entire game. Let it go.
Told you it could have been adrenaline.
His reaction, I guess.
Richard Yee with the dish to Kirby Raimundo. He recovers. Kirby puts it up. Uses his left hand to ward off his defender. That will be an offensive foul. At pang-apat na yan para kay Kirby Raimundo.
Ngayon, may importante decision of Coach Chuck Reyes. Will he leave Mark Sanford in the game or will he take him out?
Carriazo inside of Mark Sanford. Oh! Nabitiwan niya yung bola. James Yap will be fouled by Jeffrey Carriazo. Judy foul. Only the first called against the Jet. Mark Sanford. A sorry miss. He was already there. Si Kirby papalitan with 4 personal fouls. Ibabalik si Ray Evangelista. Artadi. COCA-COLA on top by 1. The Hot Dogs led by as much as 11. Napura na yun. Nakaagaw pa ang COCA-COLA Tigers. Sanford. Nope, that was an air ball.
That's just not an air ball, because the layup was also an air ball. 1 foot.
Of Purefoods. They're setting up their play. 9 seconds sa kanilang shot clock. Quick hands on the part of the Tigers. Rudy Hatfield. This one is easy for him. 4 points here in the third period para kay Rudy Hatfield. He's got a total of 8.
If COCA-COLA can get any type of lead, you can expect Coach Chuck Reyes will take out Mark Sanford.
3-point lead para sa COCA-COLA. Pero sabi ni... Eto, Head. James Head. Just scoring his 12th point in the ball game to bring it closer. 54-53, Carriazo. Long 2 para kay Jeffrey Carriazo. He's got 21 points.
Until I got to see Jeffrey in this basketball game more than making up for his last couple of games where he had problems scoring.
In the meantime, foul will be given up by Rudy Hatfield. That's his job for tonight to contain James Head. He's got 2 on him.
He was arguing that James Head pushed off before he made that move.
Malapat na ang team fouls itong COCA-COLA Tigers. At ito si Rob Wainwright. There you go. Just lifted Mark Sanford with 4 personal fouls.
Save him to come back and fight another day.
That's right.
Another quarter.
Purefoods committing 4 turnovers here in the third period. That's why COCA-COLA is back and on top by 3. Carriazo against James Yap. The fall away. Ayaw. Big rebound there for Ray Evangelista and the long pass. Artadi. Great outlet pass from Ray Evangelista.
It has to be Johnny Abrieto's responsibility as James Yap with the steal.
Bad inbound para sa COCA-COLA Tigers. And now Purefoods trying to get back to lead here. This one is short. 56-55 COCA-COLA Tigers. And I'm seeing a guy dun sa may officials table who might be checking in for the first time in this ball game. He's the key player para sa Purefoods. Noy Castillo has not seen action yet. Ray Evangelista with a steal. Going to Richard. Oh, what a shot for Richard Yee. Parang tinakam niya muna rin si Rafi Rivas. Pinakita yung bola.
Richard Yee showing his body first and then bringing the ball out from under his body here.
Here's the ball.
There it is, right there.
Yes. Protecting the ball with his body, and Richard Yee will score with a 3-point play. Purefoods takes a 1-point lead and may have a chance to make it a 2-point lead.
What a difference one foul will make. All of a sudden, COCA-COLA looked like they had total control of this game. They were able to get back in the game, take the lead. Sanford picks up his 4th foul. Now the momentum has switched over to the Purefoods club.
Johnny Barrientos, papalitan muna ni Anto Morano. Coach Chot Reyes was probably thinking about what you just said, Coach Norman. What happened? We got back here into this ball game. James Yap underneath. Oh, James Yap.
Finger roll. That's a lost art. Activity. Players throw finger rolls anymore.
It's like an effortless part from him to make that kind of a jump against two defenders. In the meantime, Rob Wainwright will answer right back at the opposite end. 59-58, 1-point game here. The lead para sa Purefoods. Noy Castillo will be called for a dribbling violation. He's cold. Napapasok pa lamang nito si Noy Castillo. 2 minutes and 54 remaining sa ating third quarter as we take a look at James Yap here. There you go. Pinauna niya muna ng lundag. Rafi Rivas was trying for the help defense, but he will not be denied. Purefoods from George.
Yes, kahit nakakahabol na ang Coca-Cola Tigers sa Purefoods TJ Hotdogs, kalmado pa rin si Coach Ryan Gregorio sa huddle niya kanina. In fact, he encouraged his boys, especially Richard D. and James Head, to participate more. He told Richard D. na gusto niya makita ng catch-and-shoot ball game at kay James Head naman, more domination in the paint. Benji and Coach, back to you.
All right. Si Rudy Hatfield, right? Well, he just scored from point-blank range that time.
Touch passing on that play. Good ball movement. That's an easy 2 points.
Noy Castillo.
Well, no true point guard in the game now for Purefoods as Artadi has been lifted for Castillo.
5 seconds a shot clock ng Purefoods. At may foul given up here by the Tigers. This one will go against, let's see, kay Ato Morano. Will pick up his second. Yes, second personal foul on Ato Morano, and the Coca-Cola Tigers is already in the penalty. So James Head will be given 2 free throws. James Head, he's got a total of 12 rebounds also. Great all-around game. Pero nagpintis doon sa kanyang free throw. There's Mark Sanford. He committed a couple of turnovers. He's got 4 personal fouls. He was already trying to pick up on his game once again, Mark Sanford, but right now he has to sit on the bench. Maybe in the fourth quarter. We only have 2 minutes and 21 here in the third.
Well, the key now for Coca is just to keep it close until Sanford can get back into the basketball game. And then it's up to Sanford to make sure he stays on the floor.
That's right. Jeffrey Carriazo, 9 seconds a shot clock ng Tigers. Rob Wainwright trying to hit the 3. Wala. Oh, nice tap there pa galing kay Rafi Rivas to Jeffrey Carriazo. And they will reset their play here. Rob Wainwright, I thought he was going for that kind of a shot once again. This time he draws near and he gets the basket. Si Rob Wainwright meron ng 6 na puntos sa ball game na ito. And Coca-Cola regaining the upper hand here. By 2, 62-60. Rudy Hatfield, too close for comfort, will be called for his 3rd personal foul. That has been his job all night long to contain James Head. Although, ang problema nasa penalty na itong panig ng Coca-Cola Tigers.
Rudy Hatfield really complaining about the same thing, which is James Head is hitting him first, pushing off. Referees don't always see it the way you wanted to see it, though.
He just wanted them to take notice of that. So James Head brings it a little bit closer. Alvin Patrimonio seeing action for the first time. We're talking about veterans, their experience, how useful they could be in a situation like this.
Coach Ryan really going to his bench. Castillo and Patrimonio did not play in the first half.
So James Head takes both free throws to tie the count, 62 all. This is the third quarter action, folks. Rob Wainwright from the corner. And it went overboard, so that'll be a turnover. Muli po, buhat dito sa Phil Sports Arena sa Pasig City. Benji Santiago, kasama po si Coach Norman Black. 1 minute and 14 dito sa ating third quarter. 11 puntos ang kalamangan ng Purefoods. Natapos ang first half. And right now, eto. Tabla tayo. James Head lost the leather that time. Carriazo, no need to hurry this one. Trying to look for the open man. They go to Rob Wainwright. Balik kay Ato Morano. Ikot ang bola. Patient offense here. Rob Wainwright puts it up. Too strong. Now an offensive rebound. Yes, Rudy Hatfield made that happen. So was Rafi Rivas was there.
The offensive rebounds have really hurt Purefoods in this quarter. He's dropped back into a zone defense.
Carriazo will put this one up. He was fouled.
Foul. That's going to be 3 shots for Jeffrey Carriazo.
The second personal foul against Richard G. Well, once again, we have seen a very patient offense being executed here by Coca-Cola Tigers.
Well, it's really been Rafi Rivas who keeps getting his hands on these loose basketballs and on the offensive rebounds for Coca-Cola, keeping the ball alive. And if you give any team 2 and 3 chances at the basket, they will eventually score.
Prior to this ball game, Jeffrey Carriazo's highest score was only 19 points here in the conference. Now he has outdone himself. He's got 22 already. As we take a look at Coach Ryan Gregorio. Looking on, what happened to that 11-point lead?
Evaporated.
That's right. Leonel Hugnatan, who was also a monster in the rebounds back in the first half, is back para sa Coca-Cola Tigers. And he got them all, Jeffrey Carriazo, to give Coca-Cola a 3-point lead, 65-62.
So Jeffrey actually has doubled up on his average. He's averaged 12 points a game coming into this game. Now has 24.
Will this be last shot time para sa Purefoods? James Head. Lost the leather. Ato Morano gets the basket. And that has been the story of the third quarter. The quick hands of the Tigers. And so it will end here. What can we tell you? Coca-Cola Tigers being quarter kung saan ito masasabi natin well, as we take a look at the 2 top honchos of the PBA, of course, Commissioner Noli Ayala and the head of the PBA Media Bureau, Willie Marshall. Let's take a look at the wife of Will Antonio, who has not seen action in this ball game yet so far, Coach.
And the wife of Coach Chut Reyes on your screen there, so enjoying the game.
All right, we go into the fourth quarter. At kagaya nga ng binabanggit natin, Coca-Cola Tigers, even yung import nila ay nakaupo. Ito si Mark Sanford with 4 personal fouls has been able to take care of the level. As we take a look at the scoring by quarters here, look at that.
A big quarter for Coca-Cola in the third quarter, scoring 31 points. They came out with a lot of intensity. And that's why they're up by 5 points now.
Everybody trying to help out. Ato Morano. Nope, that one is short. At ito ngayon, Kirby Raimundo. He's got 4 personal fouls. Jeffrey Carriazo willing to give up a foul there. Prevent the fast break from Purefoods.
If you're Kirby Raimundo, you have to give that basketball up.
Doesn't have to dribble it. Maybe he could get the ball back.
Well, Ray gave it to him on the fast break. One quick pass back, Ray would have had an easy layup.
Nevertheless, ito si Noy Castillo, who has only seen action here in the second half. He's averaging 10.5 points per ball game. Foul against the Tigers underneath. Rafi Rivas, his third.
I have to wonder if there's something wrong with Paul Artadi because the Purefoods offense has slowed down a little bit here.
Maybe we could ask George later.
Without a true point guard on the floor.
7 seconds na lamang a shot clock ng Purefoods. Kirby Raimundo throws it up. It goes in. Call it a lucky shot, and he just fished for a foul there. Kumagat naman ito si Rafi Rivas, and that will be his 4th.
And Rafi Rivas will have to be careful here and pick up a technical foul. Take a look at it. There's definitely body contact there.
That's right. Kirby Raimundo, he's also got 4 personal fouls. So para sa Coca-Cola Tigers, Mark Sanford has 4. Rafi Rivas also has 4. Purefoods has Julie Port with 4 personal fouls, and so is this guy taking the bonus free throw. to bring it closer. 2-point game, mga kaibigan. COCA-COLA, 67-65 naman ang Purefoods. Ato Morano to Mark Sanford. Ayaw. They get the ball back. Offensive rebounds. Paying off very well para rin sa COCA-COLA Tigers. Ato Morano for the 3. And it went overboard.
And Purefoods really dodged a bullet there, like you said. They gave up another offensive rebound. It's been their problem here in the second half.
So Purefoods right now, pagkakataon muli, bumabla. Depende sa sitwasyon, baka makalamang pa. PBA Mojo, hooks it up. Look at his jumper, won't go, and Mark Sanford. Ito, Ato Morano. They will set this one up. Inside, Raynel Hugnatan. Crowded situation. Ato Morano wants a 3. Yes! This time he will get it. Big basket para kay Ato Morano.
That'll make Coach Ryan think about that zone defense his team is in.
Pang-5 puntos pa lamang yun ni Ato Morano. Ang 5 naman ang kalamangan ng COCA-COLA Tigers, 70-65. In the meantime, James said, trying to answer the long distance, wala. Rob Wainwright. Edward Reno will take this one. It's another 3 back-to-back para sa COCA-COLA Tigers.
And all of a sudden, the outside shooting of COCA-COLA is alive.
And they're on top by 8 points, 9 minutes in.
And 11 turnovers, Purefoods in the third quarter. That might be one of the reasons why Coach Ryan took him out.
Defense was all over James Head that time. Fast break in the making here. Para sa COCA-COLA Tigers, Paul Artadi thought he had all ball. Pero foul ang may tatawag sa kanya. His second.
Well, Rob Wainwright's telling his teammates he wanted to dunk the basketball. I don't know about that one. But definitely had to gather himself. They gave Artadi a chance to catch up with him.
Rob Wainwright, 6 points, 3 rebounds. His first trip to the line in this ball game. And you still have 9 minutes and 20.
Rob Wainwright, a key bench player for the COCA-COLA team. And he plays the small forward position, as James Yap has just checked back in for Purefoods.
Rob Wainwright taking it a 10-point lead para sa COCA-COLA Tigers. Paul Artadi. Too many minutes on the bench. Let's see. Put up that shot, you can only wonder. Pero si Mark Sanford has 4 personal fouls.
Sanford had his hands in his pockets, that's why.
Rob Wainwright trying to connect from long distance. Wala. And Raynel Hugnatan, that was his job since the opening quarter of this ball game to get those offensive rebounds. Mark Sanford. 12 points para kay Mark Sanford. It's a 10-point lead para sa COCA-COLA Tigers. They only need to win once. And they get a seed in the quarterfinals.
A good foul there by Hugnatan, not giving up an easy 2 points as James Head really had him sealed in the lane.
Pangalawa yan against Raynel Hugnatan. And Rob Wainwright will be lifted by Jeffrey Carriazo. He continues to top score for his team. Carriazo, meron na siyang 24 points and 4 rebounds. 8 seconds of shot clock of Purefoods. James Head trying to get near the basket.
Once again, using his pivot foot to get away from his defender.
And a nice tap there, nice defense. PBA Mundo. James Head has 17 points in the ball game. James Head setting up Julian Fort. He could not put up the shot. The shot clock says 8 seconds. Mintis to James Yap with a 3-pointer. 7 minutes, 43 ang nalalabi. Reno tries another one. This time it's short. Earlier he had a 3-pointer. James Head doing everything. trying to be a one-man wrecking crew here para sa Purefoods. He was fouled. He will go to the line.
Showing his dribbling ability that time to get that shot off.
Reyna Lugnatan will be called for his third personal foul. And sending James Head to the line for the 2 free throws. We still have 7 minutes and 32 remaining in this ball game.
And Coca-Cola, they have 5 team fouls, so they are now in the penalty. Purefoods only has 1, so that might be something Purefoods might want to take advantage of.
Short stint for Reyna Lugnatan, and Rudy Hatfield is back. Johnny Barrientos checks in for Atoborano.
Lugnatan with 5 offensive rebounds in this game, so he's done his share on the offensive end for Coca-Cola.
James Head 5 out of 8 from the free throw line. 77-70. And of course, this is the kind of a situation that you also had a chance to see later on in our second game. And Talking Tex beats the FedEx Express. Talking Tex having a twice-to-beat advantage. Edward Wino might have hurt himself.
Well, that's the problem with trying to sidestep your man. You sometimes bang your knee up against the opponent's knees. That's exactly what happened as Coach Wino tried to get away from James Head. They just banged knees against one another. It's like a stinging sensation, then after about a minute or so it goes away.
And he has to concentrate on his free throws first. Edward Wino makes the first free throw. He had a 3-pointer earlier.
Once again, we'll repeat that Coach Chet Reyes has not used his feet very much in this game. He wants to get in the quarterfinals tonight. He does not want to prolong it. He'll actually be the 3rd team if they can make it tonight to qualify for the quarter so far, including the 2 foreign teams.
Meantime, James, staying lane, pero good second chance opportunity there, courtesy of James Head. Score, bring it closer, 78-72. Doing this systematically, the Coca-Cola Tigers. And the shot clock, and now they have to hurry it up. James Head will be called for that foul. There was only 5 seconds on the shot clock. Pangalawang personal foul at pangatlo naman against the Purefoods TJ Hot Dogs. Coca-Cola, on the other hand, is already in the penalty.
You have to wonder about the conditioning of James Head, just having arrived here in the country. That's 2 straight fouls for him coming in probably the last minute.
Well, Mark Sanford is shooting free throws right now to increase their lead further. Still a long way to go. We still have 6 minutes and 33 in this ball game. Anything can still happen. So 8 ang kalamangan ngayon ng Coca-Cola Tigers. Artadi now 39 punto. Let's see. Foul. That'll mean free throws.
Definitely Purefoods has begun to take advantage of the foul trouble of the Coca-Cola team. It's just one hard move by Kirby Raimundo, one quick step, and Coach Wino was back on his heels.
80-72 Coca-Cola Tigers. This is actually 2 days here in the weekend when we're playing crucial ball games as we try to complete the cast in the quarterfinals. For tomorrow, 2 games, knockout, Coach Norman.
Yes, even today, the knockout game is for Purefoods and FedEx. If they lose, and tomorrow, what do they say? Win or go home?
Yes,
one or the other.
Santa Lucia is going to have a game against Barangay Ginebra tomorrow, and ABC Sports would like to extend their condolences to the family of alternate Governor Attorney Ariel Magdo. His father just passed away, Anacleto Magdo, and his remains is at the Funeraria Pass, Sukat, Parañaque. Interment is June 12. As we get back into this ball game, it's a 6-point lead na lamang ito para sa COCA-COLA Tigers. Although Johnny Albarrientos with his quick hands there. Help defense, stole that ball away. Eto ngayon, they go inside to Mark Sanford. Point blank range shot, wala. All Artadi. We'll wait for his teammates.
Johnny Albarrientos showing a little bit of speed on that play.
Has to catch up.
Yes, not letting Artadi get by him.
Shot clock is down to 6. Jumlin Port. Saved by that whistle. Etong Purefoods and Coach Shot. Well, sayang. There was only 3 seconds on the shot clock. And Wino will be called for that one since COCA-COLA is in the penalty. That will mean 2 free throws para kay Jumlin Port.
Well, for some players, reaching in is a hard habit to break. Like to reach in and slap the ball out of your hands. Remember the old Alaska teams with Ron Hawkins and Coach Wino and Johnny Albarrientos and Jeffrey Cariaso. Those guys used to be great at slapping down on the basketball and taking it away from you. The problem is, if you hit any type of skin, you're definitely going to get a foul.
Napiribis pinilinis po dito sa ball game na ito. Pinilitan si Edward Wino na meron ng 3 personal fouls.
Sabi kay Wino, no foul on that play. Well, June Limpo's numbers are down tonight. He did get in early foul trouble in this game. Picked up 2 fouls very early in the first quarter.
Nevertheless, he's trying to add some more production here para sa Purefoods CJ Hot Dogs. The lead has been kept down to only 4. Albarrientos. 7-second shot clock and a swipe there para sa Purefoods. Apat lamang hinahabol ng Purefoods. Plenty of time in this ball game. 4 minutes and 50. Si Paul Artadi underneath. Johnny, perimeter jumper is in.
Great decision making there by Jeffrey Cariaso, letting the defense go by and hitting Johnny right on the move.
Pamatay sunog na basket ni Johnny Albarrientos to make it a 6-point lead para sa Tigers. And the UE connection did it again para sa Purefoods with that alley-oop.
Somebody fell asleep there defensively as he was just wide open.
Good recognition. Well, they have been playing together for so long now, Paul Artadi and James Yap. In the meantime, Cariaso pulls up and short. Purefoods just down by 4 once again. A little over 4 minutes dito sa ating ball game. Will be called for an offensive foul.
Ryan cannot believe that call.
That reaction from Ronnie Magsanok and Coach Ryan Gregorio. COCA-COLA Tigers wants to call the timeout. Let's see the contact here. Well, June Limpot wanted some space.
They called him for the hook.
He doesn't have to do it that way. Apat ang kalamangan ng COCA-COLA Tigers, 82-78.
Si Glenn Capasio, ang dating player ng Purefoods CJ Hot Dogs, out of your 14 years in the PBA, nakasama niyo ang Purefoods ng 9 years. What can you say about the performance of your former team right now?
Medyo ngayon ang team nila medyo nag-a-adjust kasi medyo bata at saka yung madaming bagong players at saka yung mga injuries. Pero ngayon nakita ko kanina, medyo maganda na yung tinatakbo ng team. Unlike yung sa team namin, siyempre advantage ng team namin kasi dati matagal kami magkakasama sa national team. So hindi kami nahirapan mag-adjust sa PBA noon.
Okay, thank you so much for your time and enjoy this ball game. Ayan po si Glenn Capasio, ang dating player ng Purefoods CJ Hot Dogs.
Well, of course, Since dati siyang player, he's most probably talagang cheering on itong Purefoods DJ Hotdogs. Mark Sanford, too many steps on that drive. Matatawagan siya for the traveling. A 4-point lead, a shaky 4-point lead ng COCA-COLA Tigers, and they commit a turnover. There you could see youth and inexperience. Purefoods, conference average 18.1 tonight, 19.
Blocked it by Sanford.
Yes! So call me for the turnover, but I will sure make up for it at the other end of the floor. Johnny Abarientos trying to shake off Richard Yee. 84-82. 2 minutes and 15 ang nalalabi. Anybody's ball game. That's how we expect this ball game to be. A short jumper. Short pin by Sanford. Purefoods looking for the equalizer. There goes the call for the hole. 2 minutes and James Head. Unforced error.
And he covers his face.
Story nitong ball game na ito. COCA-COLA has a twice to beat advantage. They're hanging on to a 2-point lead.
Purefoods is not in the penalty. They only have 3 team fouls.
Johnny Abarientos. Mark Sanford. Out to Johnny. Johnny with a fake. Going to Cariaso. 4 seconds and a shot clock. Jeffrey Cariaso sailing in for the basket.
Big drive there by Jeffrey Cariaso. Good find by Johnny Abarientos. Actually looked like a broken down play there.
That's right. They have been rotating and rotating. We're taking a look at the bench of the Purefoods DJ Hotdogs. They're still keeping up their hopes of staying alive, live to fight another day.
Only a 4-point game, so this game is very much up in balance right now.
And a very important offense here for Purefoods. Hatfield gets the rebound after that miss from James Head.
10 rebounds in the game for Rudy Hatfield.
Purefoods need to play good defense here. 10-second shot clock. Para sa COCA-COLA Tigers, Hatfield nowhere to go, but was fouled. And a foul called against Kirby Raimundo. He will pick up his 5th personal foul. Two free throws will be awarded. Rudy Hatfield. Consider Rudy Hatfield did look like this is his only 4th game here in the Fiesta Conference.
This is his best game so far. 13 points, 10 rebounds, so 9 rebounds in your screen. Our statistician here is off by 1 rebound.
Coach Ryan Gregorio sues for time. He needs to talk to his players here. 88-82, 1 minute and 4 seconds.
Kick out. That's a student winning. Otherwise, after you set the screen, take the basket to foul now. Let's foul. Let's foul. Let's have a quick foul. Alright? Alright? Kaya pa to, pare. Kaya pa to. Come on, let's go.
All right, well, Coach Norman, 88-82, COCA-COLA by 6. Purefoods on the offense here. And we're going to take a look at Purefoods. They need to score.
It's actually only a 2-possession game, so you don't really have to foul immediately. If you can get a 3, Ryan probably wants to stop the clock after they score.
James Yap, big. He made that one, but they'll get another try here.
Now, even if they score, they're probably going to have to foul just to stop it.
That's big! Three-point basket there for James Head. The other James could not do it.
Well, that changes everything, hitting that 3. They're only down by 3. That's a 1-possession game. They do not have to foul anymore. They just have to play good defense.
That was the instruction of Coach Ryan Gregorio earlier. But now things could change. So it took the second James to make a three-point basket to bring it closer. 88-85. And James Head, his performance for the night, he's got 25.
And that really puts the pressure back on Coca-Cola to make something happen because they cannot run out the time with 47.6 seconds left. So they have to score on this play to try to keep their separation from the Purefoods team. Meanwhile, Purefoods just has to play good defense and get the basketball back. They can either go for a 2 or 3 once they get it back, but they have to get it back without Coca-Cola scoring.
Because earlier when we heard Coach Ryan Gregorio trying to give instructions to get a foul quickly, because they only have 4 team fouls at this point of the ball game. Coca-Cola is already in the penalty. I was just kind of wondering, maybe it won't work for him that they're not yet in foul in team penalty. Game reset natin mga kaibigan. No more timeouts para sa Purefoods. Coca-Cola has 2 full timeouts.
Well, you don't want to really use those fouls right now. You just want to play good defense. You don't want Coca-Cola to run out the clock and then you use a foul.
One defensive stop na kailangan dito ng Purefoods. Jeffrey Carriazo to Johnny Abarrientos. Big basket for Johnny Abarrientos.
I mean, that's just a big hoop by Johnny. They needed that to keep the separation.
It's like he has been trying that kind of a shot all game long. Just when they needed it the most, he hits it.
Purefoods has to score now and then foul. That's the only option they have.
Oh, getaway here for Noy Castillo. Flat-footed the defense of Coca-Cola that time. And there's the foul.
Now they're going to have to foul again, as almost 5 seconds went off of that clock before they were able to foul Johnny.
Well, what happened there? Coca-Cola was caught napping. That was just some quick basket that Purefoods had. Let's take a look at this Johnny Abarrientos basket. The setup job from Jeffrey Carriazo. On the run. He stops. He pops. He gets that one to fall. There's another foul. So 15.7 seconds remaining dito sa ating ball game.
Well, no more timeouts remaining for Purefoods, so they have to advance the ball the full length of the court. They have to hope that Jeffrey Carriazo misses both of these free throws to try to keep it a one-possession game. Then they have to run down and score. Either a 2 or a 3. If it's a 2, they have to foul immediately once again.
Jeffrey Carriazo playing the best game in his performance in the Fiesta Conference tonight.
You really need quick players out here on the floor for Purefoods because you have to advance this ball quickly. It's going to be the responsibility of Noy Castillo.
Carriazo makes it 2 for 2. He's got a game high, 28 points. 5-point lead, 5-point game. James Yap wants a 3-point. Forced the issue that time. Ball goes back up to Purefoods. Energy. And Kirby Raymondo. 4.6. There's the foul. 1 second. Ang natapyas. James Head will commit his third personal foul.
Now, one free throw here by Jeffrey Carriazo could be the nail in the coffin for the Purefoods club. Jeffrey continues to put up big numbers.
Jeffrey Carriazo at the line for 2.
So I guess the Coca-Cola players, particularly Jeffrey Carriazo, really responded to Coach Reyes' interview at the end of last game against Alaska. He really lashed out at some of his guys.
Jeffrey Carriazo did not just make up for it. He has truly shown in this ball game. 94-89, Noy Castillo. Well, Purefoods still has the last say that will count for a 3-pointer, but still Purefoods coming up short. A 2-point victory here para sa panig ng Coca-Cola Tigers, knocking out the Purefoods TJ Hotdog.